Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monday Mentor. Today is September 9th, 2013. Last week, we began the dialogue on coaching and difficult people with some important baseline concepts and talking about some common responses to corrective coaching. This morning, we're going to look at how we work through some of these challenging situations. First, some bad news. Dealing with difficult team members in a coaching environment has no absolutes. You're going to have to listen effectively and exercise extremely high levels of good judgment and emotional intelligence to deal with your difficult team members. There is no single approach that will work with everyone in every situation. So let's talk about our deniers first. Those are the people that deny a behavior or piece of poor performance occurred. These will represent one of the most difficult situations to coaching leaders. At their core, people who deny events in corrective coaching are challenging you. They're challenging your resolve and your credibility. They're hoping, through a pretty direct approach, you will back down. The first strategy to utilize is always speak from first person and in a direct format. Do not attribute your feedback to anyone or anything else. This sounds like, "You were late today," or "I saw your interaction with that customer," or "I witnessed your comments to your team member." Using this form will generally take away any ammunition deniers like to use. Avoid coaching statements such as, "It seems like you have a problem with tardiness," or "Someone told me you had a problem with a customer today," or "I heard you have an issue with a coworker." Those statements are almost inviting denial or, at the very least, a challenge to your information source. The second strategy with deniers is to not engage in debate or shoutbacks. Simply state what happened, what the expectation is, and the admonition that the behavior or performance needs to be corrected. Saying something like, "This is not subject to debate," is an appropriate response. Saying, "I know what I saw," will spiral the coaching session into an argument. This is a perfect time to talk about conversation control with difficult team members. There is no inalienable right bestowed to team members to have their side of a story heard. I'm not saying that there are not times to hear what they have to say, but there are also times, especially when they get into denial mode, that controlling their responses is critical. It's perfectly acceptable, defensible, and desirable to tell a team member to be quiet, tell them to listen, and tell them not to interrupt you anymore. You'll never successfully coach a difficult team member unless you can express the event and expectations. Deniers try to turn a coaching interaction into a debate, and you simply can't let that happen. The next common response you'll have to work through is excuse makers. The approach here will be a bit easier, as you'll want to redirect to the expectation and not the excuses associated with the failure to perform or behave correctly. If the expectation is timely arrival and the excuse is kid dilemmas, say things like, "I appreciate the challenge of kids, but you need to be here by 9 o'clock every day." The other approach with excuse makers is to challenge why they did not let you know about the obstacles or roadblocks or challenges prior to missing the expectation. If system availability was an issue, why didn't they say something prior to the deadline being missed? This also reinforces the importance of consistent communication within the flow of a project. The final approach to deal with blaming others. This too is relatively easy as long as you, the leader, remain absolute in redirecting the discussion back to the team member's performance or behavior. Use language like, "This isn't about Bob, this is about you. Our conversation is about you, not about Brian." Take care, and I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll continue our dialogue about coaching others next week.